Hi, welcome to the 2019 ETU Challenge Almere-Amsterdam. My name is Richard Belrock and I'm the race director for this event, and I'm going to take you through the most important parts of our briefing of today. I'll take you through the topics for this briefing based on this agenda. After some words of welcome, start with the history of the race, the pre-race prerequisites, the swim, the bike, the run, and some post-race, things that are important for you. So welcome to Challenge Almere-Amsterdam. Challenge Almere, or the city of Almere, has been organizing long-distance triathlons since 1983. It started actually in 1981 in The Hague as the Holland Triathlon, but then moved to Almere quickly. And with that repeat of tradition, the race has been organized every year since. So it's a 39th edition this year for the Challenge Almere-Amsterdam. The connection with Europe is quite big as well. This will be our 7th European Championship long distance we're hosting in Almere. Also on World Championship, we've got quite a track record already with the World Championship ITU in 2008, and we are planning for the 2020 ITU World Championships Multisport. We're looking forward to seeing you there, September 4th to September 13th, taking place in Almere. 6 World Championships, duathlon sprint, standard, cross triathlon, aquathlon, aquabike, and of course, the classic long distance. In 2019, we have more than 3,700 athletes competing over 3 days. We started with the Junior Challenge and the Business and Family Relay on Thursday. Today, on Friday, we've had the No Limit and Senior Challenge, and tomorrow, on Saturday, on race day, we're expecting a lot of the athletes on the middle and long distance. More than 700 volunteers are here to assist you to make the best of the day. And we aim for quality. So in case you want to provide us with feedback, please send it to us. We'll send you a link to a survey, and we're happy to hear your feedback to improve for next year. These are my managers that made it all possible, and they are doing everything they can to make the race as smooth for you as possible, and we will be there to cheer you over the finish line. The race will be officiated by officials of the European Triathlon Federation and its delegate national and the host federation of the Netherlands. The technical delegate is from Norway, is Kalle Jensen. The assistant technical delegate is Hans Geerts, and the head referee is Michiel van Dijk. In case you disagree with the decision of the officials of the ETU Technical Federation, you can reach out to the competition jury and appeal to that protest to that penalty. The competition jury consists of 3 people. It's Kalle Jensen, the ETU technical delegate, as the chair of the jury, Martin Bredijk, the representative of the National Federation, and Dennis Jäger, the representative of the European Triathlon Federation. Protests on all possible penalties should be filed within 15 minutes after the finish. There are 30 minutes to support your protest. Please note this is only for the age group. For elite, there are different rules. The timetable for today, for Friday. Registration opened this morning at 11:30. That's also when transition area opened. At 5:30 the carbo loading party starts, and registration and bike check-in closes at 8:30. This is the central event location. I will highlight some of the important parts of this venue. Here, what I'm pointing now is the theater. This is where the registration is, the briefing takes place, the carbo loading party is, and the after-race care is. It's also the host of the medical care. In the theater, you find everything you need for that. Once you exit the theater, to the left, you enter into the finish area, what will be the final part of your race. And right in front of the theater is the expo and food and beverage terrain. Here you can relax or enjoy the shops that are there. On the right side, a big white tent is the changing tent, where all the bags are stored. You exit it from the top side here. Besides the changing tent is the long distance transition area. The middle distance transition area is positioned on the parking lot of the hospital garage. The bike mount dismount light is further to the end of the square. When you go to registration, you pick up your race pack. This consists of an envelope with a race number in it, which needs to be worn on the back during cycling and the front during running. For teams on the triple try together, that means that the cyclist wears one number and the runner wears another number. You'll get some tattoos, decals. You get a bike flag number. This is placed on the bike saddle of your bike. A helmet race sticker, which is placed on the front side of the helmet. A swim cap for your correct starting wave. red, blue and green transition bags, an accreditation bracelet, a timing chip, a ticket for the carbon loading party, and a ticket to pick up your backpack. To apply the decals, this is a short instruction. You can receive 2 decals for both upper arms. When you're wearing longer sleeve, it's also okay to wear them on the lower arms. Make sure you apply the tattoos on clean skin. First, remove the clear surface of the decal and place the number correctly and not upside down on your arm. Please note you can do this by having the logo at the top. Press a damp cloth or sponge over the number for 30 seconds and then carefully remove the paper. Do not touch, wait for 3 to 5 minutes before putting shirt back on, so to let it dry on the air. When you check into the transition area, your bike and helmet, these are some things to consider. For the people racing in the European Championship wave, please present your uniform to the technical officials that are present at bike check-in. They need to check if it validates all the rules that are for that. Also, before you go there, this is for all athletes, make sure that the bike flag number is attached already to the seat post of your bike. Your helmet is placed on your head with the chin strap fixed. The helmet stickers on the front side and the race grip close at hand. Then we can do the bike checking process really quickly. You'll receive 3 bags. A red bag that contains all the bike gear that cannot be attached to the bike. The blue bag that contains all the running gear, shoes, sunglasses or hats. And green contains everything that you need after the race. In the theater, there are no bags allowed, so do not leave bags in the big entrance hall of the theater. Bags that are left there will be removed. Bags can be stored best in the big changing tent in the transition area. No air pumps can be put into the green bags. Mark them separately with one of the numbers that are on your sticker sets. To enter the changing tent, enter from the top side of the esplanade from the bike path into the bike check-in area that is indicated there. The changing tent is set up in different sections. One on the right for the long distance, one on the left for the middle distance, indicated in yellow, in between for the women of both ends, which is marked separately. Blue is indicated for the elite. Green is the hand-in of the green bag pre-start, and the relay zone is just on top of that green bag drop-off. As said, no air pumps allowed in the green bags. At the end of Friday, the day before the race, you should have done this. You should have registered at the registration desk. You should have left already your red and blue bags in the changing tent. It's not mandatory, but we advise you to do it. You can still access the bags in the morning of race day and make the final adjustments. You should have checked on your bike and your helmet in the transition area. The bike and helmet stay overnight in the transition area. Also, tomorrow morning or Saturday morning, you can still access the bike and helmet and make the final adjustment. Only equipment fixed on the bike is allowed. All loose equipment should be in the bags. Nothing should be placed on the floor near the bikes. That means that your helmet stays in the bag, but your shoes, if you want to connect it to the bike, that's possible. Your bike drink bottles are also possible to keep them in the cages on your bike. In case you need technical assistance, the bike mechanic van der Linden is available just around the corner, opposite MediaMarkt. There is no bike mechanic in the transition area. And of course, you should be ready for the carbon loading party. Some weather wind conditions, as this might change. I need to be careful on this, but the water temperature at this moment is 18 degrees. A final decision on wetsuit usage will be made 1 hour before the start based on the current situation at that point. The weather forecast is that it will be a dry and sunny day, 20 degrees Celsius. The wind prognosis is not really like Almere. It's a little gusty wind, force just 1-2, but it will be increasing at the end of the morning, beginning of the afternoon. The wind comes from an east-southeasterly direction. The transition area opens on race day at 6. It means that if you want to make final adjustments, you can be there at 6. For the long distance, this closes at 7. So for long distance, you have to be out of the transition area at 7. And then these are the start waves for the long distance championship. At 7:25, the European Championship Long Distance Men Under 45 wave starts. At 7:30, the European Championship Long Distance Men 45 Plus starts. At 7:35, the European Championship Long Distance Women starts. And at 7:45, the Open Series Long Distance starts. These are all men and women that did not qualify for the European Championship. For the middle distance, also the TA opens at 6. But in that case, the transition area closes at 8. The start of the middle distance the first start is at 8:20 because it's a rolling start. Your start time is flexible. For teams, it's the same open and closing times for long distance as and middle distance for the TA. The long distance starts, the try together starts at 7:50. The middle distance also can join into the rolling start of the try together and start in the rolling start waves. Before the start, make sure that the timing chip of the swimmer is on the left ankle. The green after race back should be or could be handed in at the changing tent. Get ready for the start at the swim start sign at the water side. Make sure you pick the right corral for the right start. Stay behind the line of bodyboards if you're starting in the water. So for the middle distance, you have to stay behind the line of volunteers on the K, because they will block you not passing the timing mat, otherwise you've started already. There's limited time for swimming. You have to be out of the water before 7, or it's only possible between 8 and 10 past 8. These are the corrals. I'll highlight these are for both races. So for the long distance European Championship, the first corral is the elite. The second corral is men under 45. The second is 45 and older for the European Championship. The fourth one is European Championship women. The last one is all the open series plus the try-togethers, which are even beyond. For the middle distance, the corralling is done based on expected swim times. The first corral are for people who think they swim below 30 minutes. The second one is 30 to 34. Third is 35 to 39. The fourth is 40 to 44. And the fifth is for everyone over 44 minutes. The swim cap colors can help you indicate in which color to be. These are the swim cap colors for each of the starting waves, so make sure that you have people with the same swim cap color as you have around you. There's only one color per starting group. In case of a middle distance with a rolling start, that means that there is a mix of the people, because women and men and the try-togethers can pick their own pace for the starts. The swim course is a 1.9k loop in the Weerwater on the Esplanade. So for the long distance, it's a water start as indicated. There will be a starting line created in the water to identify it. Middle distance, as said, is a rolling start where we'll start 7 people every 10 seconds. The start for the long distance waves is a cannon shot, indicated in the official challenge family music. The turning buoys are orange cylindrical shaped buoys, which you need to keep on the left hand side. So always make a left hand turn at those buoys. All the red, yellow other buoys are indication buoys. For false start procedure, this is only applicable to the wave start, so for the long distance starts. Several horn blasts will sound, the bodyboards and canoes will block the way in front of you, and everyone goes back to the start line to give it another try. Transition 1. This will be the flow for the transition. Follow the traditional Dutch windmill. Exit the water, go left. Enter into the changing tent from the end. Find your bag in the long distance area. Change, walk through the long distance transition area, pick up your bike, and with the bike in hand, you walk to the mount line. Only from the mount line is where you are allowed to start biking. We have the same animation for the middle distance. For the middle distance, you exit the water, take a left. Cross past the transition area into the changing tent, find your bag and change into the bike gear. Walk all the way around the transition area middle distance to enter from the top right side. Find your bike, and with the bike in hand, you walk down. With the bike in hand, you walk to the mount line, and from there, you start the bike course. For athletes part of a relay team, you hand over the timing chip in the relay zone in the changing tent. Make sure your biker is there. This is a detail of the changing tent, so you can orient where to go and how it looks like. So you enter from the water side, it's the arrow on the bottom, and you exit from the right top side. The relay zone is in the top left part of this picture. The bag usage after the swim for the individual athletes. Take the red bag from the bottom part of the rack. Take out the gear that you need on the bike and put in all the wet swimming gear on in the bag. Your wetsuit, your goggles, everything that belongs to you. Put the red bag then back on the rack and then go to your bike. On the bike course, you'll enter our 180k or 92.5k bike loop. For the long distance, there's an extra loop that needs to be taken in both laps. It's located at approximately 10 and 90 k's. I will highlight it further. At the split, at the end of the loops, there's a choice to go back to the transition area or enter the next lap. I'll also indicate that split. Every 10k is marked, and you have to keep right at all times to keep it safe. As said, I would highlight some of the points of special attention. At 10 and 90k is where the additional loop for the long distance starts. This has only have to be taken by the long distance athlete. You turn right and you follow the main road to the right. It's this junction, Gooimeerdijk West, Havendreef, that has this connecting loop. For the middle distance, you have to keep left. It is indicated with signs and should be clearly visible. Just after that point that I indicated, so that's at approximately 12 to 13 kilometers, there is this section. I actually included this picture because it's changed from last year's race, of course. So we push you to the left side of this road and we keep you there. So actually it's kind of like you're riding against the traffic, but there is no traffic. In recent years we pushed you to the bike path, but we're not doing this anymore. That's why I included this. At 40k and 135k you turn from the dike to the Knardijk. Here we urge you to stay on the bike path because the car road is very bad and bumpy. In the forest of Zeewolde at 70 and 160k, it's quite narrow, there are some grids, and there are two sharp corners to the right. I indicated both in these pictures. Please be careful in these corners as they are pretty tight. There will be volunteers to make sure that it goes safe. A split is made after 87k or 174k on the Gooimeerdijk Oost next to the Manegeweg. Next lap you have to keep left and go straight for the second lap. If you go to run transition or the second transition, here you go to the right. Again, this is indicated with a lot of signs and markings, but here you already see the situation. This is a repeat of the bike course and I will show you the points that I just mentioned. We start from the Esplanade, bike to Almere Haven. We go right through the Havenkom, the first aid station, here to the split where only the long distance have to do the additional loop on both laps. In any case, the middle distance goes straight and the long distance joins them a bit later. Here is the point where we urge you to go to the left side and drive against the traffic, although there is no traffic. Then we follow the dike to a right where the Knardijk is, where we push you to not drive on the bad car road, but go on the bike path, which is more smooth. We follow this section of agricultural part where we enter the forest of Zeewolde with the two sharp right corners, which you have to be really careful. We follow the road past station 4, and at the end of the loop, that's where the split is, back to transition going right, or the next lap going straight. We offer an aid station every 22k, so there are 4 on the bike course. There is a coach area indicated near the Havenkom, Almere Haven, at the Veerkade. The nutrition we serve is served in this order: half bananas, bars, power bar, energized bar, in different flavors, the gels, power bar, energy gel, in different flavors. Sport drink is power bar isoactive in a yellow drink bottle of 750 milliliters, lemon flavor, and the water is served in a white drink bottle 750 milliliters. The aid station and bike is serving water in this order, and they are using vests to help you. Green for food, orange for gel, yellow for ISO, and blue for water. Please make sure that you're not approaching the volunteers too fast to not miss it. We have medical service and pickup services running around, but we need your sportsmanship and help to get people off the course quickly. Do you notice anyone in need? Please alarm the next volunteer you see. Try to remember the bib number so that helps us where and who to pick up. There is tech support available on 3 fixed locations. It's at aid station 2, 3 and 4, so only not at the one in the Havenkom in Almere Haven, the first aid station that you pass. So I'll show you the flow for the second transition. We start with the flow for the long distance. You dismount the bike from the dismount line, and with the bike in hand you walk to the place in the long distance transition area that is indicated for your bit number. Then you walk into the changing tent and change into your run gear. Once you've done that, you start your run by exiting the changing tent to the right and enter the stadium to start your first lap. More or less the same is for the middle distance. You exit the dismount from the dismount line, walk with the bike in hand all the way to the middle distance transition area. Walk all the way around and enter from the top right part of the middle distance transition area. There find your numbers. Once you've placed the bike there, walk towards the changing tent, find your bag in the rack, change into your running gear and exit to the run course. For relays and teams, it's the same flow for both positioning of the bikes, but the biker runs into the relay zone to hand the chip to the runner that can start the run. This timing chip is essential. This is a detail on this part of the flow. So you enter the changing tent from the top right, search your bag, change into your run gear, start the run. For the relay, it's into the relay zone. As said, you use the blue bags to change that. So take out all the gear that you need from the run. Blue bags are on the top rack. Put in all the biking gear that you don't need anymore from the that you don't need anymore for the bike, and then put the blue bag back on the rack. Then go to the run course. Then you enter into the run course. The run course is a 7K loop around the Weerwater in which you also swam. It's a counterclockwise loop, very nice in the city center and the green part on the other side. Every kilometer is marked with a white BMW, and there's a coach station at the Apollo Hotel where coaches can hand you something. Most part of the course is covered by tarmac. There's just one little spot that is grass, but that's all. I would also like to highlight one part of the course that is new for people who raced here before. This out and back part is only added this year due to road constructions on other parts of the run course. So when you enter from the Lesplatz, go to the left, keep left, walk around the aid station, keep left again, and then onto the run course. The laps and also the out and back part of the previous slide is counted with timing mats. But there's no additional support like bracelets to help you count. So you're responsible for your own lap counting, but we can check afterwards if you really completed the whole course. The aid stations are scattered every 1.5 K on the run course. The nutrition order is gels, power bar energy gel, food, raisin breads, bananas, oranges, power bar energize bar, sports drink, power bar ISO active in a yellow paper cup, cola in a red paper cup, water in a white paper cup, and then sponges. Also here the volunteers will be wearing vests to help you, with exception of the sponges because we think you'll recognize those. Rule interpretation. We follow the International Triathlon Federation drafting rules, and that includes the drafting rules. The drafting zone in this case is 12 meters long, counted from the front wheel of the first bike to the front wheel of the second bike. In case you are caught in that drafting zone, you will receive a penalty, which is a blue card representing a 5-minute penalty to be taken in the next penalty box. 3 times the disqualification, 3 times the blue card means disqualification. You have to mount after the mount line and dismount before the dismount line. Rack your bike correctly inside the own space in the transition area. Do not block others. Also leave used equipment in the bag, not with the bike. Do not use action cameras like GoPros and mobile phones on your bike. You should be fully focused on navigating your bike. Also on the run, it's not allowed to wear electronic headphones to close down the rest of the surroundings. On the run, there's also no pacing and assistance from guiding bikers allowed. Penalties will be notified by blowing a sharp whistle, calling your number, and showing a card, either yellow, blue, or red. A red card is a serious infringement and should not necessarily be preceded by a yellow card. A red card can be shown at once. Drafting rules in practice: overtaking must be done swiftly, so don't linger and go over the athlete quickly, and the athlete that's caught up must create the distance. Avoid the appearance of drafting, which means that don't look for the 11.5, 12.5 meters, but go on the safe side and go for 15 meters. The locations of the penalty boxes are indicated here. Bike penalty box 1 is on the left side, bike penalty box 2 is on the right side of the road. The bike penalty box on the run is only applicable for athletes, but I want to highlight it anyway, just in case it might be necessary. It's just before exit, at the end of your loop before entering the esplanade. And then you have it. You are at the finish line. This year we've set up 2 arches. You have to check the right one to use. All long distance athletes go through the blue arch, and all middle distance athletes and relay teams on the middle distance will go through the right arch. You can check the color of your accreditation bracelet which color of the gantry you need to use. If you are competing in the European Championship, you're not allowed to be accompanied during the race and on the finish line. For others, there's limited possibilities to finish at the finish line, as long as you don't block others behind you. We are also extending our anti-doping controls over some of the age group athletes. In that case, we might require a photo ID for you to make sure that we handle that administrative part correctly. The timing chip is not handed in at the finish area or anywhere else. It's only handed in at the bike pickup. So the moment you pick up the bike from the transition area is where you hand in your chip. These are the limits for our race. The long distance swim closes at 10 a.m. The middle distance 10 past 10. The bike closes at 5:45 for the long distance, for the middle distance at 2:15. For the long distance, there is also a cutoff for the start of the run for the last lap. That has to be started at 10 p.m. For the middle distance, there's no cutoff. The finish is closing for the long distance at 11:45, and for the middle distance around 4 o'clock. We ask the athletes of the middle distance to leave the theater at 5 p.m. to make a bit more room for the long distance athletes, which are then arriving. This is a schedule for the check-in, check-out times, just to be sure. So on race day, check-in opens at 6. There's no check-in available for the long distance athletes. The bike check-in for the middle distance closes at 7. The TA for the long distance closes at 7, and the transition area for the middle distance closes at 8. The checkout and the transition area opens the moment the last athlete has completed the transition from bike to run. For the long distance, this is approximately 5:30 p.m. For the middle distance, this is approximately 2:30 p.m. The checkout for both races closes at 11, so there's a lot of time for you to enjoy into the festivities where we celebrate the last finishers. In case you drop out of the race, you can report to the information desk in the theater. You receive information to check out earlier. The timetable for the after race. On Sunday at 11, there's an award ceremony in the theater. We invite all age group winners, top 3, to join us for that award ceremony. There will be awards for the middle distance age groups, for the relays, for the long distance athletes in the European Championship, for the long distance athletes in national championships, and for the Open Series long distance athletes. On Saturday, we'll only have a flower ceremony in the stadium as soon as the third athlete has entered for the European Championship and a national championship. We'll also happily invite you to the championship. This race serves as a qualification. The first 6 per age group are qualified automatically to race at the championship in Samorin, Slovakia, taking place in May 2020. It is the flagship event of Challenge Family, where we have the pinnacle of all age group and elite racers competing against each other. The invitations for this will be sent soon after the race. You can choose to redeem it or pass it. In that case, there will be a roll down till 12th spot. Some last minute tips, tricks and notices. Don't blindly follow any motors. They can take different routes. Don't draft. Obey the drafting regulations that are applicable. If you withdraw from the race, please inform a technical official or a volunteer with a radio, so we won't be searching for you the rest of the day. There's a merchandise shop at the expo, the Challenge Family Shop, where you can buy merchandise of our race and our brand. Are you staying in the Van der Valk Hotel? There is a free shuttle bus to the Esplanade. It starts driving at 5:45 a.m. and then leaves every half an hour until 9:50. Bus stop is just outside parking terrain of the Van der Valk Hotel. In case you're parking in Almere, for some of the parking garages there are discounted parking tickets available. You can buy them for €5 at the bars on the expo. The day tickets for public transport buses are for sale. They are for sale for €6 at the info booth in the main hall. Also, carbo loading party tickets are for sale, €17.50 for adults and €10 for kids at the info booth in the. For supporters and coaches, you can take the public transport bus M1 to Hotspot Havenkom in Almere-Haven and see your athlete passing by there. To follow them online or with our tracking apps, there are two options. One is the Rabobank Challenge Almere app, and the second is the Challenge Family app. If you want to see moving images, please refer to our live stream that will be covering most of the elite race and some of the age group atmosphere. It will be broadcasted via live.challengealmere.com and we'll have commentary from Dirk Bockel and Belinda Granger. These are the partners that made our event possible. We would really like to thank all of them for their contribution and hope to see them all next year again. I just want to close now and wish you all the best for your race and good luck.